and welcome back to the Whatnauts Pilots Club number 46. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined, as always, by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, the game is afoot, as one Sherlock Holmes would say. Have you ever actually read any Sherlock Holmes books or anything like that?
I got the big Barnes and Noble, like, nice bookshelf edition that's still only $20 because it's public domain text, so it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Bought it, never actually read it. My university library had the script for some weird Sherlock Holmes musical that was staged on, like, the West End in the 70s. I read the script for that, and they include some liner notes about who was in the original run. Christopher Walken was one of the dancers.
Amazing.
That's all I remember.
That's honestly pretty awesome, though, because, like, who has a chance to read some, like, obscure musical script for a Sherlock Holmes play? Not many people.
I've never heard of this. I don't think it did well. Like, if I go to a lot of theater and I never hear of even a high school doing the Sherlock Holmes musical, it couldn't have been very good.
Yeah. If you guys did not know, here at the Pilots Club, this is a podcast all about the first episodes of television shows and the many reasons why they may or may not be worth a watch. This episode, we are diving into some Sherlock Holmes related content. I felt in our year of the detective, this was one that we were kind of like subconsciously avoiding. We never really said like, oh, we need to not do Sherlock Holmes because we've already covered the Sherlock show over on one of our other podcasts.
There is a pilot for that show that they made and never aired. That's like a rough draft of A Study in Pink, the actual first episode.
Do the DVDs have that on it?
Maybe. Go check.
I think I have seen that. I vaguely remember that, or at least knowledge of that. But I do used to, or I at one point used to have the like BBC DVDs of like the first three Sherlock seasons. So might be on there. Who knows? But yeah, I wanted to do some Sherlock Holmes stuff. And like I said, we had covered the Sherlock show on one of our other podcasts over on the review show. So I don't think we ever really thought about covering Sherlock on this show, but I was like, what if we do something like a different version of that? Let's do Elementary. And so that's what we are going to be talking about this time.
I thought about Sherlock Holmes all the time and just didn't tell you.
See, that's exactly what I was getting at. Like, it was subconsciously, like, we weren't really saying it. I was thinking it too, you know, but
Kyle, there's only 12 months in a year. We had really important things to talk about, like the mystery files of Shelby Woo.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, what because this show premiered shortly after Sherlock did. And beyond that and it having Lucy Liu, I don't really remember much about this show when it was airing. What was your recollection of this show?
I remember Tumblr being real cranky that America thought they could do a Sherlock Holmes better than the BBC Sherlock.
I do remember that.
I did start watching it. Like, I have to give this thing a fair shake. I have to give it a try. I got a couple episodes in, and the show was not satisfyingly dramatic and cathartic, but just had a lot of these heavy scenes where it's like, and now we will talk to the victim's family. And like the victim's mom is crying. There were too many of those too early in the series, and I'm like, I'm out. This isn't fun.
Crime shows in general can be like that for a number of reasons. I feel like,
and And Sherlock is not, because Sherlock sees everything as just a puzzle piece, and he has emotions
Sure.
very rarely. So
Sure.
there's never the sad talking to the victim's family scene, or pretty rarely. And if it is, it's just like, it's
real
not there
quick.
for it to be sad.
Yeah.
It's for Sherlock to like zoom in on something, and Watson's just like, what am I going to do with him?
It's like, I've tried to keep him in line. I'm so
Right,
sorry.
Right,
for
that's
him.
what it is. You don't feel like you mentally recognize that it is sad, but you don't feel that it is sad. And Elementary was like, it's really terrible that their daughter was murdered.
Right. Yeah. 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 There was I believe it was The Killing, which we covered the
Right.
I forget the language it was originally in, which was like Dutch, Danish. You're right. There you go. When I watched the American version of that, not knowing that it was a remake at the time, that show really got into like, let's check in on the family and really see what their emotions are. And at the time that show hit for me, I was like, I don't see a lot of crime shows focusing this much on the family and like what their emotional state is. And at least for me, that one hit. But yeah, I kind of have the same recollection of this show of like Sherlock had gotten so big that it kind of just overshadowed it as this show continued. However, this show ran for 7 seasons.
Yeah.
So I think it did pretty well. This was created by Robert Daugherty, I believe is how you say their name. I think at one point I kind of looked up and realized that the show was still going on. It was like season 4 or 5 was airing, and I'm like, wow, they're still making this, huh? Okay, like good for them, you know. But I never really
wake up.
watched it.
Elementary's still on. Did you know? Do you remember Elementary? Did you know they're on season 6?
Did you know that John Noble plays Sherlock's father in this? I found that out on the Wikipedia page.
Good.
Yeah.
We love
Shout
John
out to John
Noble.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, so I think this was the sentiment I think for a lot of people around my age or around our age, of just like it kind of got overshadowed by that other show. So I never really got a fair shake.
But parents love it.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. And I think Lucy Liu was the big attraction for me. That was the one thing that stuck in my head and kind of colored and painted in what I thought and what I expected of this show. What? What's you're laughing?
Now, it's time for a Melissa tangent.
Okay.
So, do you know the lead of the show? Do you know Johnny Lee Miller from
Not
anything?
Really. I think he was in Trainspotting. Is that right?
He was in Hackers.
Okay.
You must have seen Hackers.
I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen the important bits.
The part where they hack the planet.
Exactly.
Others. In the early 2000s, I'm going to Google the show, and I'm going to be the first person in a decade to have Googled this show. When was this from? Okay. Johnny Lee Miller was the star of a show that came out in 2008 that, shocking to me, lasted 2 seasons, because I remember this thing just like showing up, being weird, and bombing, but I guess it had a little more legs than I thought it did. He was on a show called Eli Stone.
Oh, I vaguely remember that name.
And Eli Stone was a lawyer, but also he had like a brain tumor, and the tumor was pressing on his brain in a way that made him hallucinate musical numbers. So it's a normal, legal procedural, but with musical numbers.
I must have seen a commercial or like an ad in some magazine that my mom had or something.
I watched some of it. I guess I fell off and then thought that the show only lasted as long as I was watching it. I did not know it had 2 seasons. Um, 26 total episodes. Incredible. Way to go, Eli Stone. So when Elementary comes out, I'm like, look, Eli Stone is back.
It's that singing lawyer. He's now a drug addict and a detective.
I think he sang. I don't think he exclusively imagined other people singing. He must have sang also. We need to watch. Oh, hold on. There's more. I forgot about this. I'm going to read you the full Google blurb about this show.
Okay.
Attorney Eli Stone is on the fast track at his prestigious San Francisco law firm until he begins to experience hallucinations. After his neurologist brother, Nathan, assures Eli there is nothing wrong with him, Eli turns for help to a Chinese acupuncturist who comes up with a startling diagnosis. Eli may be a modern-day prophet. Are Eli's hallucinations a product of faith or an undiagnosed medical condition? Whatever the source, they're wreaking havoc on Eli's relationships. He's like mid-divorce, I think, and like trying to get back with his estranged wife. But he keeps imagining that she's singing at him, and he'll sing at her, and she's like, stop it. What are you doing?
Singing. Why are you singing? Just sign the papers.
I forgot about the prophecy part of it completely. We need to watch this.
That's so funny. Oh, man. On my end of things, Lucy Liu, I didn't even know that Sherlock was in this show. I thought it was a show that really
Watson
focused on Watson. Yeah.
And then CBS took this experience you've had, and then they made the new show Watson that is only Watson because Sherlock Holmes is dead. But do you know what I found out about Watson recently?
What?
So the whole show, it's like, what if Watson, but basically he's just a doctor all the time who solves doctor mysteries. And this is a world that takes place post Reichenbach fall, where Sherlock Holmes is dead, or at least dead with big air quotes around it.
Sure.
And there is a Moriarty in this show. Mm-hmm. And Moriarty is played by Randall Park.
There you go.
I kind of love that. That's so funny to me.
Good stuff.
Continue.
So yeah, Lucy Liu. This was the thing that I knew and remembered about this show. I kind of thought it was only about Watson. Didn't know that Sherlock was really a major player in this show. I kind of imagined it to be. You've seen a police procedural, a crime show where there's an episode they need to go to the morgue and talk to the guy that works there, and you like that character, right? He's a quirky. What do they call the people that work at a morgue? The morgue man.
Stiff doctors. I don't know. What do you mean?
What's the perfect, like you don't say like, I'm going to go talk to the morgue man or something. Like what is his job title?
Medical examiner.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. The ME. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'm such an idiot. But like I thought that like Lucy Liu would be playing some kind of doctor or like medical examiner type character, and Sherlock would be this like force of nature that just like appears every now and then and like gives her this new case and is like, the weird mystery, what is it? And like that like has to like science her way into solving this case, and like she's actually the one that solves all of his cases, even though he's actually like, going out there. But it's like the reverse of like a crime show, right? Where the detective has to go. Yeah.
I like that describing Sherlock Holmes as a force of nature who just barges in like he's Kramer.
Like he's a hurricane or a tornado that just inflicts himself on people.
I do love that. And I love that he's bookends it. And you never know when he's going to show up, but he's only in
Right.
it for less than 12 minutes every
Right.
episode.
Yeah.
But he makes such a presence and then leaves.
Yeah, and like maybe she has to go out and do her own investigating or something like that on the side, but like it's mainly her, and that's what I thought it was. So watching this, I was very surprised at like how much Sherlock is involved in this, and was like, oh no, this really is just a Sherlock Holmes TV show. You just happen to have a big name like Lucy Liu that I think had the household recognition. And I think that's just what stuck in people's minds, right? At least in my mind. And yeah, unfortunately, another comparison to the BBC Sherlock, but this is a very different take on who the character of Sherlock is. Rightly so, they kind of had to, right? With the success and popularity of the other one.
This one lives in New York City. There's a lot in this one. There's a lot more drugs, and the drugs are a problem. Whereas in most other Sherlock Holmeses, he does cocaine sometimes as a quirk, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah, like that stuff is there even in the books. Like he's a weirdo. He's an oddball.
He's snorting. He's smoking.
Yeah, he's doing things that are probably real detrimental to him. But he's so much of this like genius that it's like, okay, we just kind of gotta point you in the right direction, and you'll be all right. And this one, yeah, the Sherlock of this show is jittery, it really feels like he is fresh out of rehab, like he is in this show. He breaks himself out of rehab, I think is what they said, because or something like that.
Because he's bored, which is one of the core tenets of Sherlock Holmes across every incarnation. He's gets bored and then he fucks some shit up.
Yeah. And yeah, he's not as charismatic as the BBC Sherlock is, even though BBC Sherlock can also be an asshole in his own way, right? This version is much more confrontational, I feel like. But yeah, I still think did a good job of like here is a different interpretation of what Sherlock might be of in American. Even though I guess he's not American in this show, he just happened to move over to America. Recently, but it's still to play it to an American audience, right?
And Watson in this case is assigned to him. She is his like sobriety counselor. She is sent by his father, John Noble, not seen in this episode, to live with him and monitor him for 6 weeks and be there in case he needs support, somebody to bring him back from the brink. And that is also new, not just that dynamic in detail, but I think at least this is what it is in Sherlock, BBC Sherlock. John Watson just like, heck, I need a place to live. And some random old college buddy's like, I know a guy. And it's like, well, we're roommates now. And then they start solving crimes together. But I've never seen them assigned to be together.
Right. Yeah. I do like the reluctant nature of their introduction in this, despite the assignment, right? It is her job. She has the reluctance of like, you are kind of a client, or you are the job, rather than like, okay, let's see if we can make this work, right? There is just like, I have to be here and kind of just play along with you for whatever you say as you go about your stuff, and I kind of don't like that. But he's accommodating enough, right? Of like, no, I actually need you in here. You're my special valet person, and I need you to do my right. I like that is, I think, the redeeming quality that I don't know this pilot really shines a light on yet. It feels like he really does have a soft spot deep in his heart somewhere, and is actually
Mhm.
really kind, right, deep
Mhm.
down. And yeah, we don't get that much, but I think just in that scene where they first get to the crime scene and he introduces Watson as his valet and then has to explain like, no, I actually need you inside. I
Yes.
felt like there was this kindness underneath it all of like, no, I actually need you here. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
so I liked that. I enjoyed that bit.
We're going to get there. So for all of these procedural detective where there's like a pair of detectives, even if I didn't watch to the end, I know they all got together. Castle and Detective Beckett, Bones and Booth. I know all of them hooked up. I have no idea if the end game of Elementary was romantic or platonic. I've never really gotten a sense or heard about it either way.
Interesting. Yeah, obviously they do the like sweep you off your feet introduction when she
Yeah.
first like sees him. Uh, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would like it if they went down that direction. It almost seems too obvious of like, oh, you switched Watson's gender, and so now they have to hook up here. Like it's mandatory.
Right.
I
I
kind of
don't
wouldn't like
if
that.
if they did get together, it took a long time. That like maybe it happened in the back end of the series where everybody except our parents had stopped watching.
Yeah. To be honest, would kind of be more okay with them hooking up if they were gay, right? If Watson was still a guy and
This this
like
was Tumblr's issue. Tumblr was like,
yes,
it's gonna
yeah,
be less gay now. And this show came out, I think, midway through Sherlock's run, where we're still like, when are Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman going to kiss? And at the end of the show, they still haven't.
yeah. But in our hearts, they did. Um, but like that like even though the fandom was all about that for BBC Sherlock, the show never really pointed to that all that much. Not blatantly, right? Or explicitly in the same way that this scene when they first see each other,
Yeah.
he's like sweeping her off her feet
Yeah.
and she's like obviously blushing and drops her
There's
bag and
Yeah,
and
Sherlock's game was entirely misunderstandings. Like they go to a cafe and the waitress asks, "How long have you two been together?" And
right,
John's
and
just
they're
like,
just like,
"I will
what?
have a
No.
sandwich, please."
Yeah,
I, I
they
didn't hear your
just
question.
they just seem like a cute, unassuming couple, right? That have already
Mm-hmm.
been together. Whereas in this show the little bit that we got was like, and one day I'll sweep you off your feet, right? And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know about that, but all right, I guess. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which way they would go with that, but
One of us could look at the Wikipedia page. We
I
didn't
mean, I have it
research this.
pulled up. I don't know how
I don't know if I
easy it
want to
would
know.
be
I
to
just want to
like.
see how far I can get in my life and see if I osmose it one way or the other.
Oh, I did see this. I don't know how big of a spoiler this is because it says in the series finale, but it says something yada yada. He returns after his nemesis slash former lover Jamie Moriarty lures him out. Blah 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 blah. So
Well, who
that's
plays
interesting.
Moriarty?
Let's see if I can Command F more. Oh, that's good. Natalie Dormer. Dormer.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Natalie
yes,
Dormer.
yes. Natalie Dormer. I do kind of remember her being on this show. I forgot that's who she was.
Reese Ifans plays Mycroft Holmes.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like it is distinct enough from BBC that I think there's enough here to kind of judge and dig into on its own. However, I don't know if it's really one that interested me.
No, it feels. I mean, it's well done enough. There's a handful of nice shots in there. It's not outstanding, but it doesn't look cheap either. I don't. It just feels so straight down the middle.
Yeah.
It's
it's a Sherlock show, and
right.
that's
It's one of them. You know them.
Yeah,
It's Sherlock, but what if Lucy Liu was there? Except she doesn't do any traditional Lucy Liu things like kick ass. Mostly she just wears like a nice
maybe she does later on.
I do like that in this pilot episode, we see Watson go to the opera and get really into a baseball game. She's a woman of many facets.
Yeah.
Normally a character does one or the other, but not both.
Yeah, it really seems like she has enough going on, not only in her life, but just her own interests and stuff in to rival kind of Sherlock's whims, right? Where he is often, he will just go off in some direction and Watson will have to be like, all right, wait. Hold on, wait for me. Like, let's see if I can, rein him in. I feel like this has enough where she's kind of going off to go live her life. I'm going to the opera. I'm watching a baseball game, and he's kind of having to not keep up, but kind of calm himself down to like more human things, like watching sports, right? I don't know.
The scene where they go to ask that redheaded woman who had previously been attacked what she remembered about the guy who attacked her, and Sherlock gets real intense, and she's like, I would like you to leave my apartment now, please. It made me think about how, to us, we are so familiar with the eccentric TV detective. Like, that guy's an asshole, but he gets results. Like, we have seen this 100 times. If we click on the TV on some random rerun on USA or TNT or TBS or something, we know it. We know the formula immediately. Oh, that must be this person's deal. They're weird, but they get the job done. And no person in a detective show seems to have ever seen a detective show before. They always react like all of this is new. And I'm like, what are you watching on TV in your world? Do they have Monk where you are? Is House in there?
The one person in every crime show that has obviously seen the crime shows is always like one of the suspects. It's some asshole kid that's like, I've seen CSI. You can't hold me here. I just need to ask for my lawyer, right? Like,
wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Right? Yeah, it's exactly that. Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Where are your parents? Right. You will get person in crime show who is like a true crime nerd or like knows it enough to know their rights, like that. Like, you can't hold me. You can't open my car trunk. Get out of here. But they're never like, oh, you're a weirdo. I understand. I've seen all detectives are weirdos. Come on in. Do as you will.
Right. Or if she had like recognized the play of like, oh, you're trying to be an asshole to get me to trust her more, right? Like if she had called that out, like the way it played out, I liked where like she is like, I need you to leave right now because you're an asshole. And he leaves, and at like afterwards, when Lucy Liu's character walks out, he explains like, I knew that if I was an asshole in this situation, like you would be the one to comfort her and like calm her down, and she would trust you more and would therefore be more likely to tell you what happened here. And I like that. That's an interesting like way to do things, right? Because BBC Sherlock is often an asshole, but doesn't
not strategically so.
Right. Yeah, he's not strategically an asshole, whereas this guy played it on purpose and was like, that's how we get the results, but they'll give you the results and I know you'll give me the results, right? So
The only crime show I can think of where it is part of the world of the show that other crime shows exist is this new Matlock reboot, where she names herself Matlock after Matlock, the Matlock we know.
Yeah.
Revolutionary.
And I guess I haven't seen Only Murders in the Building, but I guess that's more like true crime podcasts than like crime shows. Yeah.
I think having not seen Only Murders in the Building is one of my greatest character flaws, and I'd like to rectify that next year if you want to do it with me.
Okay. I liked this first episode enough, but like you said, just kind of middle of the road Sherlock show, in my opinion here. Did not have enough of a like detective, but there's zombies, right?
Is there any variation on the Sherlock Holmes story you would like to see and have not seen yet?
I mean, kind of the one I mentioned earlier, like the Sherlock as this force of nature that is inflicted upon people. Like, Sherlock is not the main Kramer, character.
Yeah.
But just will appear and screw things up for everyone.
It's like, what are those comics? Damage Control?
Sure, yeah.
The whole series is damage control for the other characters in Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Control, yeah.
There's always the exasperated Watson. And I want to see the Sherlock who meets Watson, and Watson is so jazzed to be there and so hype and is like really a cheerleader for Sherlock.
Yeah,
and Sherlock is
cocaine, I'm in. Like, let's go.
Right. And then Sherlock's like, oh, this is wrong. You're not supposed to do this.
Yeah,
you made me realize I am a problem.
I would also
I've met my match. I hate it.
I would also like to see from the perspective of Moriarty. In the sense that, God, what was that show that Gillian Anderson was on? The Fall? Is that the one?
Yes.
That show did a lot of like, let's see it from the murderer's perspective as he's like in the home waiting for the victim. You get like long extended scenes like that. I would like to see a little bit more of that, like cat and mouse, but from Moriarty's side.
We need to do this. You could do a whole network. CBS 2026, their entire fall lineup is like shows that are secretly variants on Sherlock Holmes about a character who isn't Sherlock Holmes. Like, you have just a drama about an older widowed woman making her way in the world, running an apartment building, and then you find out she's Mrs. Hudson and Sherlock Holmes is there. And I don't know if these all have the same Sherlock or if each show has its own separate Sherlock. I want just like a political show. It's just the West Wing. But one of these guys keeps fucking with his little brother and you realize he is Mycroft Holmes.
I have another one that I think would be really funny. This one's a little more far-fetched. It's a harem anime. John Watson collects multiple Sherlock Holmes.
That's incredible.
Multiple like Sherlock cosplayers like living with him.
I love this so much. So like, you are John Watson or Dr. Watson. Maybe you're John Watson, maybe you're Joan Watson. You don't know which one you are. You don't know what you look like. But it's a dating sim video game where you date every different Sherlock. So you date Benedict Cumberbatch, you date RDJ, you date Dr. House, you date the cartoon mouse. Every one of them. Amazing.
The League of Extraordinary Sherlocks is another one you could do, right?
But you date them.
Yeah. There's all sorts of stuff you
My date with 12 Sherlocks.
Anyways, Elementary. Do you have any other kind of final thoughts that you wanted to say on this, on the actual like mystery that they were solving? Maybe we haven't really said as much on that.
Elementary came out in like 2011, 2012, and it doesn't feel like it's that old, except for one, the presence of flip phones, and two, the fact that it is new information that if your phone gets wet, you put it in rice. Like, I forgot there was a time when we didn't all know that, and that got to be a plot point. But you don't know why he had rice. His phone was wet, and he put his phone in the rice. It's like, whoa, I didn't know this. Science.
Yeah, cutting edge technology, man. That was good.
I feel like putting things in rice started with smartphones. Like, did we ever put anything in rice before the iPhone? Did somebody drop their Walkman in a puddle and put their Walkman in rice? How far back does rice go?
iPhones.
Did somebody put a Tamagotchi in rice?
Right, yeah.
Where did this start? Why do we do this?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
History of phone and rice.
I thought the crime was actually pretty good. I liked that the like it has multiple twists to it. I feel like any other show would just have one of those twists. I liked where Sherlock goes to confront the guy and is like, I know you did it. Here's how. Like, but I don't have any physical proof. And the guy basically says as much of just like, you still can't get me though. So I'm gonna go live my life, right? And then they eventually get him, but still, I liked that there were multiple but actually this is what happened. You know, bag of rice.
That's her job.
Yep, good old rice. Cool. Well, one final detective to check out.
Yes.
Yes. We will not be doing Blue's Clues, unfortunately. It was a great joke. But I don't know if we would really have much to say of substance on Blue's Clues, right?
What is the twist? I would like to see what was the first mystery on Blue's Clues. What did they decide to start with?
I looked it up because it's available on Paramount Plus. I forgot to see what it actually is.
Rachel comes home, you're just chilling on the couch watching Blue's Clues.
Fuck yeah. Sounds great. Amazing. Blue's Clues episode 1. I'm trying
Plot
to see
description.
It's called Snack Time. Let's see. Fandom, go stop this. I'm an adult at fandom. Go away. Yeah, Snack Time, sometimes stylized as Snack Time, all one word, is the very first episode of Blue's Clues. In the first Blue's Clues adventure, something is missing from Blue's snack, and the viewers play Blue's Clues to figure it out. They take time to recognize colors as we paint elephants. We identify the shapes of fruit, and they help match chicks on a farm.
Is there more?
Nope. That's the episode description according to fandom.com on the Blue's Clues
What's missing
wiki.
from her snack and how do we solve it? I don't understand.
Let's see. Was there
ending revealed? Blue's Clues ending explained.
Blue's Clues explained. Does Steve know? Let's see. Now that he has all 3 clues, it's time to go back, blah, 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 and time to think. And then the clues were a cup, a straw, and a cow. What does Blue want with her snack?
She doesn't
Steve
have milk.
Wonders. Yeah, something
he
like
wonders.
that. Yeah. Stop that licking, says T, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I would just say milk.
Milk answers milk.
Yeah.
For our final detective in the year of the detective, we are going back back to a time before you had anything to put in rice. We're going to watch the oft mythologized Perry Mason. We're going to watch episode 1 of the old school Perry Mason, not the hot Matthew Rhys Perry Mason. Close to our hearts, though he is.
Yeah. Who I thought was real.
You had me so convinced. This is one of the most surreal moments of my life. That for the 10 seconds before you Googled it, you're like, did you know Perry Mason is based on a real guy? And I'm like, that sounds as true as anything else I've ever heard in my life. Sure. I went into an alternate universe for those 10 seconds, and then you yanked me back out again.
I yanked myself out of it.
We all got yanked that day.
I yanked it. So yes, we are watching the very old Perry Mason show from 1957. That's the one, right?
Oh boy, it's gotta be old Perry Mason. Perry Mason, the old one.
And I because you looked this up, I think yesterday, and mentioned, I believe it's on Tubi.
Tubi. I hope this is a normal length and not a weird length. Let me click on it. Because if this is like 90 minutes, 53 minutes.
Well, that's not bad.
Do you want to watch it for a whole 53 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one episode.
I'll have it on. I can't guarantee how much I'll pay attention, but it'll be on.
Yeah, 53 minutes is not that bad at all. Available on Tubi, like we said, starring Raymond Burr. There you go. I don't know anything about this older version of the show. He is less detective, more so courtroom lawyer, but does a lot of detectiving through that, which I think is a nice touch here. We get another one of those detectives, but something. Yeah, I've seen the newer HBO one. I really enjoyed that show a lot. It's very, very good. So I'm interested in checking out this older version here. So good stuff with that. And that will wrap up the year of the detective with Perry Mason. So good stuff there. Let's wrap it up. Melissa, where can the people get in contact with you?
You can email me at yourhostmelissa@gmail.com. Tell me, did you ever even hear of Eli Stone, or am I alone here?
What else do you use rice for?
What gets wet that you put in rice?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear all the answers.
Indeed. If you guys want to find me, I am at Yo Kyle Springer. If you want to stay up to date with all the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at thewhatnauts.com on Blue Sky. Shout out to our Patreon supporters. You guys can get this on our Patreon, patreon.com/thewhatnauts at our $3 tier and above, where it remains exclusive for 2 whole years before it hits the free feeds. So thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. This has been number 46. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.